Yo, dudes, B-Man from Verdicks. Your homeboys are back, and we're going to give you 10 more things that a dude should know, aka 10 things that your father should have told you. This is the second in a series of these. We're going over 10 points tonight. Denny, Nick, what's shaking?
Not too much, B-Man.
Fantastic.
Hump day. Week's going slow, getting my butt kicked just like normal.
It's
we're in the opposite position. We can't make heads or tail of when the week begins and ends. It's happening so fast anymore.
I've said this before. If tomorrow there was an article on science.com that said time is speeding up and we've been speeding up for the last 3 years, I'd be like, yeah, that feels right. Like that we hit some kind of quantum warp and we're going through it faster and faster. They say long days, short years, but it's short everything these days.
Well, it's long weekdays, short weekends. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Even like the weekday is broken up. Like work is long. The time when I get off of work to the time I go to bed is like, pew.
Yeah, completely.
What happened?
5 to 10 goes by in an instant.
4 hours of calls in Microsoft Excel feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
And like 20 minutes of free time feels like, like it just, I don't know.
They really did design a shitty system. I mean, how easy could it have been to just be like, all right, 3 days off. We're going to give you 3 days off. But on Sunday, you really have to sit around and do nothing. Like you're not allowed to go out. You just have to chill.
Claim a religious exemption. Like, claim that with your significant other.
Verdicks is starting a religion. The first one on this list is obvious. Exercise makes you happy. Run, lift, and play sports. Sadly, we all know it, but it's so hard to do when you get older. It's so hard to commit to exercise. Some guys are great at lifting and getting into adult sports, but the majority of us aren't. And we would immediately feel better if we did. There's just no doubt.
Yeah, sure. It's the same reason that you like watching sports, because you get that kind of rush of feeling like you're somewhat a little bit of part of something. Same thing with our kids' youth sports, like you like being involved in coaching because it makes you feel like you're involved because you know how well and how good you feel by actually playing that sport.
Yeah.
So it's your cheating way of cheating into it instead of going out and actually doing it. You're just going to do it vicariously through other people, but you get a little bit of that high from it, that good feeling from it.
I'm religious with my exercise. Every day in the gym, runs 3 days a week. I don't enjoy getting up at the time I have to get up to do it, but I've never once left a workout or finished a run and regretted doing it. Like I definitely feel better. I definitely, if I don't exercise for a few days, I definitely have like a messed up brain where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gaining weight and all this sort of stuff. So just to combat that, I just make sure I exercise regularly. I watch what I eat. It gives me a lot more energy, gives me a lot more focus. And the days that I don't make it to the gym in the morning, if something happens, I definitely notice something a little bit off. I think the only aspect that I'm missing is like I was watching a bunch of people tonight play like beach volleyball down here. And I was like, man, I wish the dudes lived down here and we could get like a squad together and show these chumps what up. Meanwhile, we'd probably get destroyed. But
I'm imagining everyone's sore, pulled something.
They're like, take your shirt off. I'm like, no, I'm good.
I can't even throw a ball overhand anymore because my shoulder hurts so bad. So like,
yeah, you do have to just be willing to tear whatever that is. Because I have the same hitch and I'm like, you just got to throw through it.
Yeah. That's it. When I'm trying to teach to throw a spiral, I'm like, all right, we're just going to go with this one. When it comes to baseball, I'm like, it's all underhand and ground balls, bud.
Sidearm doesn't hurt so much.
Yeah.
The second one on the list is to brush your teeth before you put on your tie. I don't know if this is supposed to be like an analogy for something else, but yeah, of course, brush your teeth before you put your clothes on, you monster.
I think literally people get toothbrush paste on their tie.
Yeah. I've definitely seen it in movies. All right. Brush your teeth before you put your tie on. I got nothing else to add. Yes, do that.
Yeah, it works more, like you said, it works better now, more as a analogy or euphemism for something else, because no one wears ties really anymore in the working world. Dude, not that often.
But I have gotten like ketchup on my tie, and there's few things more embarrassing than that. Walking around with a stained tie, because first of all, the tie is already flamboyant and weird to begin with. Like, why are we doing this? And then you get a stain on it, and it's just presenting your worst side to the world.
You know the one I never understood? I never understood the guys that put deodorant on before they put their shirt on.
Now you're pulling it through. Yeah.
Like, if you use like the white deodorant, like, you're getting some white like deodorant stains that never come out all over your shirt. Like, I don't understand how folks they're magical contortionists to like somehow get that on without rubbing it the wrong way.
Yeah. The next one is much like the first one. I believe it's true, but it's hard to do practically. Take a small amount of your paycheck and put it directly in your savings each month. That's easier to say now that we're adults and we're finally able to catch up on some things. But I lived the majority of my life paycheck to paycheck, waiting for dollars. Finding money on the ground was a win. So the idea that I was going to be able to save at that time didn't seem realistic. Although, as I say it out loud, of course it was possible. Of course, I could have taken $5 and put it aside. You don't have to put all of your paycheck aside, but even just getting in the habit of $1 would have made a big difference over the lifetime. But I get it. For the most part, I needed every dollar that was in my overdrawn account.
I get this one. And I would almost do like have a rainy day fund, but like, if you're going to try and save, banks are like the worst rate of return ever.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about putting money away for like a rainy day fund because your air conditioner breaks, your hot water heater goes, yeah, definitely have a savings account. But if you're talking like long term, don't fall into the trap of having tons of cash in your bank account, that you 50 grand in your bank account for simple math, and like the interest on that annual is like, here's $10. Like, there are a lot better options to make a lot more money, like IRAs, 401ks, different things like that, crypto, if you know what you're doing, stocks, all kinds of stuff you can invest in nowadays that are going to yield you way more than the scams that banks are.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't think there's money in those banks.
Yeah.
The fourth one is call your mom and dad every week. So we're unique in this situation is that we live pretty close to our parents, but I did start to call my dad once a week just to make sure that we were touching base and shooting the shit, because I felt like I was always bothering him to come over and help me with something. And instead I wanted to just have conversations with him and be like, we're cool. My mom, if you talk to my mom once a week, you're probably going to lose your mind. So you don't have to call your mom if she's crazy.
I see my parents every single day because they're here every single day. And I love it. I think as you get older, one of the worst things to see is like the gradual decline of your parents, and understand that, as you get older, so do they, and eventually they're not going to be around. I think it becomes even more important and prevalent that you just got to make the most of the time that you have together, because neglecting that, I think, would be a big regret when it comes to the time where you're just not able to do that anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just monitor it though, because you don't want your dad to be on the other line being like, this guy calls me already.
Yeah.
Called me like 4 times this week. Yeah. He just wants to chat with his mom.
Yeah,
dude, there are dudes out there like that.
At the same time, though, I think you look at it 2 ways. They probably makes their day for the most part. To get that call to hear from you,
especially if you have grandkids and stuff.
Yeah, because they always just assume that once you get older and you move out, they're the forgotten ones. Yeah. And then there's always going to be that day where you can't make that call anymore.
Yeah.
So cherish it, do it.
Plus, I mean, they need somebody to tell everybody about what's happening on Fox News and stuff.
I need them to tell me like how great my little girl was every single day, and then magically when they disappear, how she turns into like a crazy person. Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing wrong. She was great for us. Like,
same thing. The lady in Home Depot was like, "Your boys are so well behaved," and I'm like, "Really?" Because they act like Chucky when we get into the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The next one: never wear a clip-on tie. I think we may have a violator in this room.
Probably
not me.
I know I wore a clip-on tie in first grade Catholic school, but that was the extent of it.
At that age,
I have worn a clip-on bow tie to go to a wedding.
Okay, I can see that. I have no idea how to tie a bow tie. Yeah. I have no idea. I also have no desire to learn.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
I think at a certain age, it's completely acceptable. I think you'd have a harder time buying a normal tie that would fit a 1-year-old. Like put a clip on. But
what's your take on the guys who wear the bow ties?
Certain people can pull it off.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like, that's fine. That's your thing. I get it. Do your thing.
Suspenders. Certain guys can pull off suspenders. Certain guys can pull off bow ties. It's not my look.
What about it's not a clip-on tie, but it's the ones now that zip on? They zip on.
What?
Have you seen this?
Sorry, what?
No.
So where the knot comes together and where like the tail, essentially, you know, like
the tail,
back end of the tail. Yeah, we'll call it the tail. Tells you how good I am at ties. It unzips. There's a zipper, right?
Huh.
And you can like pull it over your head and then zip that back up, like to be snug, more snug.
And so obviously the zipper's in the back.
Yeah, it's literally I'm pretty much built into, again, what I'm calling the tail of the tie.
I'd have to see it, but if you're going through that much of an effort, it's not that hard to tie a damn tie. Like, it's pretty easy. I haven't tied a tie in probably since Joe's wedding, and I could still do it with my eyes closed right now. Like,
so I agree with you that it's not hard to tie a tie, right? And I could do it with my eyes closed. But there were periods of time where you and I would spend way too much time trying to get the right knot.
Oh, the big knot, the right length.
Yeah, I spent way too much time in front of the mirror trying to get that knot right.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the long run, no one noticed. Zero.
Yeah, nobody cared.
0 people noticed.
Yeah. Try not to wear a clip-on tie unless it's a bow tie.
Try not to wear a tie, period.
And learn how to tie a tie because it looks good.
Yeah, there's gonna be things in your life where it's required or frown. You're gonna look like the odd man out if you don't have one.
Although I still tie my shoes with 2 bunny ears, so do what you want to do.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm not gonna lie. I have to watch a tutorial every time I tie a tie.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm terrible at it. But I never saw the need, or like, and my profession never called for me to ever have to wear one except for interviews. So it's just something I never prioritized.
Catholic high school.
Yeah.
It's funnier to think that you went for a job that required you to wear a tie for the interview, but didn't require a tie at all any other time.
Like, that's all of us.
Yeah, we wanted to see if you had a tie.
I mean, should I dress up a little bit more than a t-shirt and a sweatshirt to go to work in the office every day? Maybe, but whatever.
I feel like you got a lot of tuck-in guys in that industry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It can get very stuffy. And then there's my office where, there's like one dude shows up. He's still, dressed up, and everyone else, it's like, if you put on jeans, that was, you're fancy.
Nice. Number 6 is to give a firm handshake. I have 2 boys age 6, and we've already been practicing our handshakes. It's important beyond belief.
Firm, not like a test of strength.
Yeah.
Right.
There are some dudes that are like, and you're like, all right, like, just a firm handshake. Don't give me the limp wrist.
I think it was from the book Tools of Titans. There was a section, and Gabby Reese was going over some of her rules for life. And I believe one of her rules was go first. Always go first. Don't be afraid to go first. And when it comes to a handshake and introducing yourself, Just walk up to people, put your hand out and go, "Hi, I'm Brian." It's that simple. I do that at every party I go to. I do it whenever I meet somebody new. I just put my hand out, firm handshake. "Hi, I'm Brian." It's so easy.
So do we think we're going back to handshakes post-COVID? It's still like, I'm still like, when you meet someone new, you're like, no, okay. Awkward fist bump.
So I pretty much still go for it.
Okay. I think 100%. I just remember when it all started, there were so many articles that were like, we're doing away with the handshake.
Yeah.
It's about time. Like maybe I'm old fashioned, but like there's certain classics like looking you in the eye and shaking your hand. Like it just shouldn't go away.
Yeah. Although we do need to talk to those guys that hang on for the handshake a little too long too.
or the hand over your hand.
Oh. Yeah.
Super nice to meet you. Number 7. This one is one that I definitely would have done when I was younger, but that was probably because I was a big finish the rest of that yourself. Compliment her shoes. Dude, you don't really care. Don't lie to her about her shoes.
Yeah, unless you're going out, like I don't know when my wife would be wearing fancy shoes.
It's all Uggs and sandals.
Yeah. We're wearing what is easy to chase a 3-year-old around in. Like, maybe, I don't know.
I guess you could drop those shoes look nice on you, but make it about her in that way, right? You're saying these look nice on you. But if you say, "Oh, I like your shoes, they look cute," like that's
I think as a married man, this should be shifted to more like take the time to compliment your wife. Like, like if she got her hair cut, or if you're going out to dinner and she's got makeup and a dress on, like if she looks beautiful, just tell her she looks beautiful. Like it may seem dumb and it may seem like it's unnecessary, but it's completely necessary.
So here's what's at risk. When I was younger, I was I'll write you a poem and I'll be the nicest guy and made you this mixtape, and telling you I like your shoes falls right in line with that. Like, don't. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work.
Don't include it as part of the chase.
Yeah.
It's also, if it's not you can't keep that up. How many poems can you write?
Yeah, at some point you're like, yeah, I am out of bullshit. My bullshit just totally empty right now.
I've Googled love poems and I've done them all, and I've pawned them off as my own.
Yeah,
I will say, if you're looking to have like a really good engaging night, compliment another woman's shoes in the presence of your wife.
It'll really get the sparks flying.
You looking to sleep on the couch?
Or maybe you could nag other girls though, and be like, "Look at how dumb she looks in those shoes." There you go.
Yeah, see, there you go.
All right, don't talk about their shoes. Just let them do their shoes. Never leave a pint unfinished.
Don't agree.
I'm with you. I don't agree, because I'm an adult, and if I want a cold beer, I'll just get a fresh cold beer. I don't need to drink the rest of that swig at the bottom.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to, like, if I'm having a beer, cool. As soon as I start eating, I lose interest in the beer.
Yeah.
So there have been many times where like this much of a beer is left and it's been out the entirety of the meal.
Yes.
And it's lukewarm and it's just not appetizing. It's not going to taste good. I'm going to regret drinking it. Like, there is no reason at all to drink that ever.
Yeah, I'm with you. Danny looks like he's going to disagree.
No, I'm thinking again, maybe this is one where it's another one to where traditionally it was more of a literal translation, and now maybe it's more of a euphemism or an analogy for don't leave any tasks that you've started unfinished.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely true.
Finish what you started, see it through.
Yeah, I'm
probably looking too far into it, but from that aspect. That's where I was going with it.
Sure. Yeah, just on face value, I don't think you need to drink that last gross sip, but I still eat the fries out of the bottom of a bag. So I don't know if I have a higher level of class than most people.
Yeah, when we're talking food, I'll get sick full.
Right.
If it's good, I'll get sick full, but I'm not drinking that lukewarm beer.
Yeah. Sure. Definitely don't need to drink that. I will say this, as a rule, even if I'm not drinking, if somebody offers me a beer at a party, I'll take the first one. I won't decline the first one. I'll always say, yeah, I'll take the first one. Like, I just accept that they're going to give me a beer and I'll drink it at my pace, whatever.
So you're saying,
like, I go to a party not intending to drink or get whatever
you're
it is.
You're not going to be that guy that's like, no, I'm just having water tonight.
Correct. I'll take a Miller Lite. Milk
it's
it all.
Part of that, it's also part of that bond, like that's the guy thing.
Definitely.
The handshake, the beer, talk about your lawnmower.
Hell yeah.
That would definitely be an awkward first impression if you're meeting like one of your wives, friends, like husbands for the first time, and you're like, no, I'll pass. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You just have to take the first beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 4 deep, been sitting on the couch for an hour, and you're like, I'm good. Thanks.
I mean, unless you're like a raging alcoholic, then please don't take the first beer. Like, if you just got out of rehab, just say no, man. But for most of us, number 9, if you aren't confident, fake it and it will come around. Fake it till you make it. I think you could fake it till you make it your whole life. I have been, I have been faking it my whole life, and then it just materializes.
Yeah, to a certain point. Like, if you're in front of other experts and you're faking it, like, you may get called out on the table. Like,
true.
You gotta know the who's in the room, but genuinely, like in casual conversation or in discussions with like your boss or something like that, if you have confidence, 9 times out of 10, that'll probably lead in the direction that you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as you move up in your career and those above you are like more and more clueless, it seems like.
Yeah. I'm starting to see a lot of that going around.
As you get higher up, it seems like if you're an expert in your field, like, they're managing you and they have no idea like what your field of expertise is. They've just somehow, they're like, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing and I'll reap the rewards of being your manager.
On paper, that makes sense, right? On paper, it says he hired the guy who knows what he's doing the best, right? He hired the expert. So on paper, it works that way. But when you think of it from the other way around, you're like, this guy's totally clueless. I could do anything. He's not paying attention.
Yeah. And then there's always that, like, yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. Meanwhile, he has no idea what he's doing. And like, then the boss also can't call him out because, and then you're stuck with like a division that's run by someone who has no business running it.
Yeah. The last one for tonight. You can tell the size of a man by the size of the things that bother him.
That's a deep one.
Yeah. And lately, I am a big violator. I am a small man and a big violator. I am letting all the little tiniest pieces of crap bother me more than they should. And I think it just comes from being stressed out, from being tired, from being overworked, for not having any time to myself. You just let that little stuff blow up, and trying to change that mindset for real.
I think,
I
think if you are genuinely a moderately well put together person, if you find yourself being annoyed by the tiniest, most insignificant things, that's a pretty good indication that something else is wrong. Like, you're not, it's not that
it's
suddenly
not
you developed
the things.
Yeah, like you didn't just suddenly develop like a anger towards like something dumb. It's probably you're not getting to like the root cause, whatever that root cause is. Yeah. So a lot of times stuff like that is just more like, okay, like everything annoys me. Well, you're getting an hour of sleep a night. Yeah, everything's gonna annoy you. Like you're not well rested. You're not eating correctly. You're not this. You're not that. Yeah. But if you do all those things and tiny stupid stuff, then I don't know what to tell you. Like there's a lot more important things in life to worry about than something insignificant.
Yeah, if you split that up, that would be more like don't sweat the small stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But definitely address the bigger issues that need to be addressed.
Yeah. I remember reading Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and I remember like in the first couple pages, the one that hit me like a ton of bricks is like you're driving to work and the guy cuts you off, right? Instead of just being like, all right, whatever. What's the first thing you do? You get into work and you're like, you're not going to believe what happened. Freaking guy. And it's like, dude, let it go. Like it's over and done with. You're just going to let that one dude start your day off.
It's just the same thing as think of how many times you play out an argument
that never
in your head in the shower. It never happens because it doesn't even really register to anyone else that it's something that's bothering you, and you're sitting there fully anticipating it.
Say this, and then he could say that.
I have almost a 100% record of being wrong in all of those situations. Right? It never went the way I thought it would. So why isn't my brain smart enough to be like, it's clearly not what you're thinking?
that monkey voice inside our heads, man.
It is fun to have those fake shower fights.
That's one way to put it. Yeah,
I think it happens in the shower because there's not other distractions in the shower in general, right? Like normally throughout the day, the TV's on, the newspaper, whatever it is that you're into, there's a distraction. But in the shower, it's you and your brain, and your brain just starts taking over.
Which is why they say meditation, right? Like to be able to clear your mind of the BS like that means that you can go forth in your day with like a clear, thought process and headspace.
Last thing, do you think there really are people out there who just feel great about themselves in their head and their positive voice is uplifting? Like, and all day long, it's like, you rock, dude. Oh, good job. You ate broccoli. Oh, hell yeah, man. Good job solving that math problem.
You did it again, my man.
Yeah, up until like the age of like 9. Yeah, that's how you feel.
Right.
We're going to go down that slide. Yeah. You ate that mac and cheese, dude.
You just uncovered something I'm going to think about all week now. Like, why does that go away if that's true? Because that is how my kids approach life. They think everything's awesome. It's not until somebody or the environment is like, yeah, it's not that cool.
Well, yeah. Like when you read all these like self-help books and stuff like that, a lot of it is getting back to that like consciousness. Like there's a reason why there's so many of these self-help books to try and get us back to having like a childlike wonder and like being in the moment. That's what kids are. They're in the friggin' moment. Like they don't have to worry about work, bills, the car, this, that. Like they have a singular focus, and that is to wake up, party on, and do it all over again, like.
And then we put them in school.
I think if we all hit the lottery, we'd be a lot closer to that positive mindset than we are right now. If we had zero worries,
we would have a roller hockey team.
Yeah.
Sand volleyball and a roller hockey team.
Yeah, I'd be in the shower like, what's our mascot gonna be? Because Dennis is gonna think it's gonna be this, and I'm gonna tell him it's not that.
It's clearly an inflatable dick with balls. All right, well, that was fun. Thanks for joining us again. We're going to do I think we have 2 more series to go through here. Check back frequently. Check out our website, verdicks.com, and until next time.